Introducing the Sloppy Joe, a brand new dance.
Mamma mia, that's some species.
Cut spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry.
So I tried tater tots.
Welcome, foodies and nostalgia seekers, to a delectable journey through time. Are you ready to take a delicious trip down memory lane? Join us as we uncover 10 mouth-watering foods from the 60s that have been lost to time but deserve a comeback. From retro snacks to classic comfort foods, the 60s were a treasure trove of culinary delights that filled our plates and warmed our hearts.
Introducing the Sloppy Joe, a brand new dance. From Libby's.
Sloppy Joe's. It was a beloved and easy-to-make meal option in the 60s, made with seasoned ground beef or turkey, tomato sauce, and various spices. Sloppy Joe's were served on hamburger buns for a hearty and satisfying sandwich. But did you know that the origin of Sloppy Joe's is a topic of culinary debate? Some believe that the dish originated in the United States, particularly in the early 20th century, while others trace its roots back to the Sloppy Joe sandwich served in Cuba. In the 60s, Sloppy Joe's rose to prominence in America thanks to their affordability and simplicity. With the rise of processed foods and convenience cooking, Sloppy Joe's quickly became a staple in school cafeterias, diners, and households across the country. In fact, according to a survey conducted by the American Meat Institute in the late 60s, Sloppy Joe's ranked among the top 10 favorite sandwiches in the United States. One of the reasons behind the popularity of Sloppy Joe's was their versatility. Home cooks could easily customize the recipe to suit their tastes and preferences by adjusting the seasoning, adding extra vegetables, or experimenting with different types of meat. Plus, Sloppy Joe's were a hit with kids who loved their messy and fun-to-eat nature. Interestingly, the name Sloppy Joe is said to have originated from a bar in Key West, Florida, owned by a man named Joe Russell. Legend has it that Russell served loose meat sandwiches to patrons at his bar, which were notoriously messy and difficult to eat neatly. As a result, customers affectionately referred to the sandwiches as Sloppy Joe's, and the name stuck.
I tried tater tots, or add his different brand of potatoes, lightly seasoned nuggets. Tater tots are different plain as snacks, different a dozen ways.
Tater Tots were a beloved side dish in the 60s, offering a crispy and satisfying alternative to traditional French fries. These bite-sized cylinders of grated potatoes were not only delicious, but also had an interesting origin story. Tater Tots were invented as a solution to food waste. In the 1950s, two brothers named Neffy and Golden Grigg, who co-founded the Ore-Ida Potato Company, were looking for ways to utilize leftover potato scraps from their French fry production. They came up with the idea of extruding the potato scraps into small cylindrical shapes and then frying them to create a crispy exterior. Thus, the humble tater tot was born. In the 60s, tater tots soared in popularity, quickly becoming a staple in school cafeterias, fast food restaurants, and family dinner tables across America. In fact, Ore-Ida estimates that over 70 million pounds of tater tots are consumed each year in the United States alone. One of the reasons behind the popularity of tater tots was their convenience and versatility. Unlike French fries, which required careful cutting and frying, tater tots could be simply popped into the oven or deep fried for a quick and easy side dish. Plus, their crispy exterior and fluffy interior made them irresistible to kids and adults alike. Tater tots have also inspired a variety of creative recipes and culinary creations. From tater tot nachos to tater tot breakfast casseroles, food enthusiasts have found countless ways to incorporate these crispy potato nuggets into their meals.
America's favorite brand of frozen potatoes.
banana pudding. It was a classic dessert enjoyed by many in the 60s. Made with layers of vanilla pudding, sliced bananas, and vanilla wafers, banana pudding was a sweet and creamy treat that satisfied cravings for something indulgent and comforting. The origins of banana pudding can be traced back to the late 19th century, when American cooks began experimenting with ways to incorporate bananas into their desserts. Throughout the 20th century, banana pudding continued to evolve, with various interpretations and adaptations popping up in cookbooks, magazines, and family kitchens across America. In the 60s, banana pudding experienced a surge in popularity, becoming a go-to dessert for potlucks, picnics, and family gatherings. One of the reasons behind the popularity of banana pudding was its simplicity and affordability. Made with basic pantry staples like pudding mix, bananas, and vanilla wafers, banana pudding was a budget-friendly dessert that could feed a crowd without breaking the bank. Plus, its creamy texture and sweet flavor made it a hit with kids and adults alike. Interestingly, banana pudding has inspired a variety of creative interpretations and adaptations over the years. From banana pudding parfaits to banana pudding cupcakes, food enthusiasts have found countless ways to reinvent this classic dessert while still paying homage to its nostalgic roots.
Mamma mia, that's some species.
Cut. Spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry.
Swedish meatballs. Swedish meatballs were a trendy dish in the 60s, often served at dinner parties and holiday gatherings. These savory meatballs, made with a blend of ground beef and pork, were simmered in a rich and creamy sauce flavored with nutmeg and allspice. The origins of Swedish meatballs can be traced back to Sweden, where they are known as köttbullar. While the exact origins of köttbullar are unclear, they are believed to have been introduced to Sweden by King Charles XII, who brought back the recipe from Turkey in the early 18th century. Over time, köttbullar became a beloved staple in Swedish cuisine, often served with lingonberry jam, mashed potatoes, and pickled cucumbers. In the 20th century, Swedish immigrants brought their beloved köttbullar recipe with them to America, where it quickly gained popularity among both Swedish American communities and the broader American public. By the 60s, Swedish meatballs had become a trendy and fashionable dish, often featured on restaurant menus and in home cooking magazines. One of the reasons behind the popularity of Swedish meatballs was their rich and flavorful sauce. Made with a combination of beef or chicken broth, heavy cream, and traditional Swedish spices like nutmeg and allspice, the sauce added a luxurious and indulgent touch to the tender meatballs. Plus, the addition of lingonberry jam or cranberry sauce provided a sweet and tangy contrast to the savory flavors of the dish. Swedish meatballs also became synonymous with comfort food, with many families incorporating them into their weekly meal rotations. Whether served as an appetizer, a main course, or a party snack, Swedish meatballs are sure to satisfy cravings for something hearty, savory, and delicious. Baked Alaska. It was a show-stopping dessert that was popular at dinner parties and special occasions in the 60s. This impressive dessert consisted of layers of cake and ice cream topped with meringue and briefly baked in a hot oven to brown the meringue. The origins of Baked Alaska can be traced back to the 19th century, when it was known as Norwegian omelette in French cuisine. The dish is said to have been created by French chef Charles Ranhofer at Delmonico's restaurant in New York City in the 1860s, being inspired by the site of Alaska being purchased by the United States from Russia in 1867. One of the reasons behind the popularity of Baked Alaska in the 60s was its unique combination of textures and flavors. The contrast between the warm toasted meringue and the cold creamy ice cream created a delightful sensory experience that delighted diners with every bite. Plus, the addition of cake provided a soft and fluffy base that complemented the rich flavors of the ice cream and meringue. It became a symbol of culinary innovation and creativity in the 60s. Chefs and home cooks alike experimented with different cake and ice cream flavors, as well as variations in the meringue topping, to create their own unique interpretations of the classic dessert.
Meal with real cheese appeal. It's Tuna Helper Cheesy Noodle, now with twice the real cheddar cheese in the sauce for a delicious meal.
Tuna Casserole was a hearty and economical dish that graced dinner tables in the 60s, made with canned tuna, pasta, and a creamy sauce. It was often baked with a topping of breadcrumbs or cheese for added crunch and flavor. The origins of tuna casserole can be traced back to the mid-20th century, when canned tuna became widely available and affordable in grocery stores across America. With its long shelf life and versatility, canned tuna quickly became a staple in many households, providing an easy and convenient source of protein for busy families. In the 60s, tuna casserole rose to prominence as a favorite weeknight meal for families looking to stretch their food budget without sacrificing taste. One of the reasons behind the popularity of tuna casserole was its simplicity and affordability. Made with inexpensive pantry staples like canned tuna, pasta, and canned soup, tuna casserole was a budget-friendly option that could feed a crowd without breaking the bank. Plus, its creamy texture and comforting flavors made it a hit with kids and adults alike. It became associated with the rise of convenience cooking and processed foods in the 60s. With the advent of canned soups and packaged pasta mixes, home cooks could easily whip up a delicious tuna casserole in no time, making it a convenient and time-saving option for busy households. Pineapple upside-down cake. It was a classic dessert enjoyed by many in the 60s, featuring a layer of caramelized pineapple slices and maraschino cherries atop a moist and buttery cake. Pineapple upside-down cake was a sweet and nostalgic treat that evoked feelings of warmth and comfort. The origins of pineapple upside-down cake can be traced back to the early 20th century, when canned pineapple became widely available and affordable in grocery stores across America. With its sweet and tangy flavor, canned pineapple quickly became a popular ingredient in a variety of desserts, including cakes, pies, and tarts. The earliest known recipe for pineapple upside-down cake appeared in print in the early 20s in a cookbook published by the Hawaiian Pineapple Company, now known as Dole. The recipe featured a simple yet delicious combination of canned pineapple rings, maraschino cherries, and a basic cake batter, all baked together in a single pan. In the 60s, pineapple upside-down cake experienced a surge in popularity, becoming a favorite dessert for home cooks and professional bakers alike. One of the reasons behind the popularity of pineapple upside-down cake was its simplicity and versatility. Home cooks could easily customize the recipe to suit their tastes and preferences by adding additional ingredients like shredded coconut or chopped nuts, or by using different types of cake batter such as yellow cake or sponge cake. It also became associated with the rise of American tourism in the 60s. With the advent of affordable air travel and package vacations, many Americans flocked to tropical destinations like Hawaii, where pineapple was a prominent agricultural crop.
It's bow time. Down here, pimento cheese is pretty much its own food group. So when fans told us to bring back our legendary spread,
Pimento cheese spread, also known simply as pimento cheese, was a popular and versatile dish enjoyed by many in the 60s. This creamy and flavorful spread, made with shredded cheese, mayonnaise, diced pimentos, and various seasonings, was a staple in Southern cuisine and beyond. The origins of pimento cheese can be traced back to the late 19th century when canned pimentos first became available in the United States. Pimentos, which are sweet red peppers, were initially imported from Spain and Portugal, but were later grown domestically in southern states like Georgia and South Carolina. The combination of shredded cheese and diced pimentos quickly became popular in the South, where it was enjoyed as a simple and delicious snack or sandwich filling. In the 60s, pimento cheese spread experienced a surge in popularity, becoming a favorite dish for picnics, parties, and family gatherings. Home cooks could easily customize the recipe to suit their tastes and preferences by adjusting the type of cheese used, adding extra ingredients like diced onions or jalapenos, or experimenting with different seasonings and spices. It also became associated with Southern hospitality and tradition in the 60s. Many Southern families passed down their own cherished recipes and techniques for making pimento cheese spread from generation to generation, creating a sense of culinary heritage and nostalgia for those who enjoyed it.
It may surprise you that before popcorn, the #1 snack with moviegoers was deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs were a classic appetizer enjoyed by many in the 60s. These bite-sized delights made from hard-boiled eggs that have been halved and filled with a seasoned mixture of egg yolks, mayonnaise, mustard, and various spices were a staple at picnics, potlucks, and holiday gatherings. Deviled eggs experienced a resurgence in popularity in the 60s, becoming a favorite appetizer for both casual and formal events. According to data from the American Egg Board, egg consumption in the United States reached an all-time high in the 60s, with the average American consuming over 400 eggs per year. One of the reasons behind the popularity of deviled eggs was their simplicity and versatility. Home cooks could easily customize the recipe to suit their tastes and preferences by adjusting the type and amount of seasoning used, adding extra ingredients like pickles or bacon, or garnishing with herbs and spices for a decorative touch. Associated with retro cocktail parties and entertaining in the 60s, many cookbooks and culinary magazines of the era featured recipes for deviled eggs, often showcasing creative variations and innovative presentation ideas. Served as a starter at a dinner party, a snack at a picnic, or a finger food at a holiday gathering, deviled eggs delighted diners with their creamy texture and zesty flavor.
Dad, I made some fun.
Watch it glimmer, see it shimmer, cool and fruity.
Gelatin mold salads were a quirky yet popular dish in the 60s, often served at potlucks, picnics, and family gatherings. These colorful and whimsical salads consisted of flavored gelatin mixed with various ingredients such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, and even meat or seafood, molded into decorative shapes and chilled until set. The origins of gelatin mold salads can be traced back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when gelatin became widely available in powdered form and marketed as a convenient and versatile ingredient. Gelatin was initially used primarily as a thickening agent for soups, sauces, and desserts. However, with the advent of flavored gelatin mixes in the early 20th century, home cooks began experimenting with incorporating gelatin into savory dishes, giving rise to the popularity of gelatin mold salads. In the 60s, gelatin mold salads reached the height of their popularity, with countless recipes appearing in cookbooks, magazines, and advertisements of the era. According to data from the Jell-O Company, gelatin consumption in the United States reached an all-time high in the 60s, with Jell-O sales skyrocketing to over $100 million annually. With their vibrant colors, intricate designs, and whimsical shapes, gelatin mold salads were often featured in advertisements and promotional materials as a symbol of stylish entertaining and culinary innovation. And there you have it, folks, another 10 forgotten foods from the 60s that we're eager to bring back into our kitchens. Which one of these tasty treats would you like to see make a comeback? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, happy cooking and bon appetit!